everything that people are using to justify his move, quote unquote, up, is the same thing that people use to basically define, well, would you gonna take $300,000 a year or $5 million a year? That's called being a sellout by definition.
Look that up.
By definition, you're selling out. You're compromising your morals, integrity, and your vision for what's supposed to be something larger than you for a position, a glorified position, and a paycheck. Now, we can see what's going to come of what he does at Colorado. I find it hard to believe that he's going to have the same level of influence on that school as he would at Jackson State University.
I completely agree.
You know what I mean? So,
I completely agree. I mean, don't get me wrong. I hold on. Hold on. They said, calling someone a sellout, a person who betrays a cause, organization, or the like. Informal. A person who compromises his or her personal values, integrity, talent, or the like for money and personal advancement. Now, look at you.
you know what I'm saying? Come on, man. I'm outside with my definition, etymology, I be reading dictionaries and all that. That's neither here nor there.
But I mean, I personally, if I'm Deion Sanders, I'm weighing my options simply for, like, this is just me personally, right?
I just want you to answer.
I answered the
Do
question.
you think he leveled up by going to Colorado? You described it as him taking on bigger and better things. Do you consider him leaving Jackson to go to Colorado a level up for his collegiate football career?
A half a level up, yeah.
So yes.
Yes.
Okay. So what are you measuring it by? Strictly the salary? That's what. So what is the half?
No,
The money?
also because I feel like, matter of fact, I'm gonna pull it up real quick just so I can make sure I don't say nothing wrong. But in terms of coaching wise, you're gonna be playing more of the top rather than like the SWAC division. You're not playing anybody to get that notoriety. You're not gonna sit here and you're not in the SEC, the ACC type thing. You're not Big 10, Pac-12. So in your division, yes, I look at it as a great coach here, but now let me go coach against Alabama. Let me go coach against Auburn.
So what does that mean for him? How is that?
How is that for him? Now he gets to show that I wasn't just, hey, I just didn't get the top recruits in the best team in this division. I can actually go somewhere else and make that impact the same. Now he gets to show that is he really a real coach, or is it the fact that he went to a really lower tier school, a high tier and a low tier school, in a low tier division, and just make them succeed?
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you a question. So, are you familiar with Jerry Rice?
Yes, of course. One of the greatest wide receivers.
What would you have him ranked as a wide receiver in NFL all time? Just give me around. You don't gotta give me a figure. Top 5, top 10, top what?
Probably, give or take, top 7.
Okay, so that's a product for HBCU. So that's not a Division I school.
Okay.
Shannon Sharp again.
Yeah.
Top 10 tight end all time.
Mm-hmm. Product of a
HBCU. Walter Payton. So we got examples of everything that you saying not necessarily making a difference in the end result of people's careers.
I got you.
Right. So when people say this Colorado school is a step up or bigger than Jackson, how are you measuring it? Because the only way it would have to be measured is financial.
Yeah, agreed.
A lot of people used the explanation of that he wasn't getting the funding. He had to do this for the school out of his own pocket. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. That's how it works. So when you start a business, you have to fund it. You don't open a restaurant and it's McDonald's.
Right.
You know what I mean? It doesn't. That's not how things start off. You've been there for 3 years. What did you expect to happen in a 3-year time span that you're going to be able to get on the level of, well, the quote unquote level of these D1 funded programs?
And I feel like now his thought is that he don't have to do that anymore. Don't get me wrong.
I'm not asking what his thought was. I'm saying the way y'all are describing it as a level up. See, change the narrative. What I'm saying is y'all are giving credence to that. This is an inferior status that he's in. And he went from something lower to something higher. The first thing you mentioned was that he's the salary. correct?
That was one of the first thing.
So that is the literal definition of selling out.
Okay.
By that explanation, correct?
So hold on, let me ask you a question real quick, right?
Okay.
If you your job now, right? Making decent money. And say you were like the backbone of that job, right? Oh, take it back. Remember when we was working together, right?
Mm-hmm.
We kind of started that whole little part here in Atlanta.
Okay.
Now, moving up. Now you take a job that's making more and that's bigger. You're a sellout for that?
All right, cool. So I would not be a sellout. You know why? Because I didn't go to an all-black company, build it up, and left them for dry when a white company came and offered me more money. That's not
you. Are you leaving them for dry?
You didn't equate what Deion Sanders did to what I would be doing.
But I'm saying
because that's not a company.
Are you leaving them for dry?
Based off what usually happens. So, for example, it's a reason that people burned LeBron James' jersey. He came to a terrible organization. He built them up, and as they said, he left them dry. And you know what happened? It didn't sustain that. It went right back down. They did the same with Kevin Durant. He came, built them up, it went right back down. That's why they applauded Russ so much, because he tried to keep them in a reasonable level, but it wasn't what it was when KD was there. So when people say, oh, he built a platform for somebody to come in behind him, that's not how things work if we look at the history of it. So everything that people are using to justify his move, quote unquote, up, is the same thing that people use to basically define, well, would you gonna take $300,000 a year or $5 million a year? That's called being a sellout by definition. By definition, you're selling out. You're compromising your morals, integrity, and your vision for what's supposed to be something larger than you for a position, a glorified position, and a paycheck. Now, we can see what's going to come of what he does at Colorado. I find it hard to believe that he's going to have the same level of influence on that school as he would at Jackson State University.
I completely agree.
You know what I mean? So
I completely agree. I mean, don't get me wrong. I hold on. They said, calling someone a sellout, a person who betrays a cause, organization, or the like. Informal, a person who compromises his or her personal values, integrity, talent, or the like for money and personal advancement. Now, look at you.
You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. I'm outside with my definition, etymology, I be reading dictionaries and all that. That's neither here nor there. The point is, I understand both sides, but I think to call him a sellout is a reasonable description. Only if I don't know the real reason behind why he went to Jackson State and why he's going to Colorado. You see what I'm saying?
Well, that's what I was going to say. That was my next thing, because I don't know. I personally don't know the reason. Yeah, the optics. And that's
appears to be the money.
That's always going to be the optics.
Yeah.
But, I mean, so we don't know what's the reason why he's going to
that's what I'm saying,
Colorado. Because, I mean, to me, what it looks like outside, like you said, the optics. The reason why he went to Jackson State was for a honorable reason. You know, HBCUs aren't, you know what I'm saying, getting acknowledgement. Let me raise this up.
Raise the legacy, raise the attention, raise everything associated with HBCU. So that way we're not looking at it as something that's less than. There's very few, quote-unquote, prestigious HBCUs in the country.
Yeah, because, I mean, these HBCUs
you could have been a reason for adding another one. Exactly.
These HBCUs not like... And you know what? You know, a lot of people, and I've talked to people who I went to school with, a lot of people don't even know that a lot of these HBCUs are D1 schools.
And that's the point I'm making.
People didn't even know that Howard is a D1 school. Like, Howard's a huge D1 school, but they're a D1 school. You know, things like that. So, I mean, his initial take on that to go to Jackson State was honorable. Now, what's the reason of him going to Colorado? Because I think Colorado was the only team that offered him something. I think it was one more other team, but he didn't look at it or whatever. But so I feel like there's maybe something, there's a gap of information that's missing that we may not know. And we may never know that. But listen. What would you have done?
I would much rather have that legacy that I need a statue for this damn the school for the city of Jackson, Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
I'm bringing in. I remember they said LeBron went to Cleveland. $500 million of revenue to that city came solely because of his success with that team.
Okay.
Cool. I need that same thing. I want to be responsible for building something that's going to withstand the test of time.
So
that's me. If I have to, number one, he's very successful. He's already rich. Cool. But again, I don't know why he went there. But if it was me, because, my money's taken care of, my kids are taken care of, and I got the power. My son's quarterback. My other son's a safety. My daughter's on the basketball team. Like, I have full control
of that entire school.
Over the vision of it, over the way the attention. I got too much influence over this to go to somewhere. If he believes he's going to get that same thing there, that's another thing. But for me, I would definitely want. I'm getting the city renamed after me. I'm getting the school renamed after me. What you mean? Are you serious?
Sanders State University, dog.
Are you serious? Yeah, I want to stand for something. It's bigger than just money, bro. Especially when I already made all the money in the world. Your athletes, they talk all this shit after they made $100 million. It's easier to then.
Well, when I was in school, it may have changed now, but at a point in time, I believe it was like 80 to 90% of black athletes went broke after their first 5 years of retirement.
Yeah, that's not Deion Sanders. That's irrelevant.
We don't know that.
We do know that because he did an old interview explaining that.
Okay.
I said on 100 plus acres of land and all this shit. He had a whole TV show like on this house, whatever.
I mean, if he did that we don't know what his money out right now.
I'm talking about he did an interview when he accepted the role at Jackson State University.
We don't know his info. Nah, but I'm just saying, if that was ever a case where money came up. So
I mean, it's never been a time in history where rich people don't want more money. So. Mm-hmm. It would be null and void. But I mean, this is what it is. I see both sides of it. Like I said, I would speak more aggressively towards Deion if I knew this was strictly for money. But I got to be fair to him. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what he was.
I have no idea.
I don't know what his plan was. I wasn't. Yeah.
And my thing is too, like, of course, I think with bigger schools that have bigger resources and that have the money, they're gonna pay you more. But this might be one, like you said earlier. He might think that he can get that team that may not be as good. I can get you here now. I did this here. I can really make this team really good. It might be a coaching thing.
It might be.
It might be a coaching thing, a culture thing, because who knows? But
it's also another. It's another topic about like having your own versus trying to integrate and make it. That's a whole nother thing. But hey, what else we got? What else we got?
Yeah, all right, last question before we get off of this. Do you think he'll be successful?
What do you define as successful for Deion Sanders?
What Jackson State was ranked at one point.
They was what?
Ranked in top 25 of.
They went 12-0 this year.
Yeah,
they won. They didn't lose a game.
Do you think that Colorado will be as successful as Jackson State was?
12-0?
Yes.
No, I don't think they will go 12-0.
And
I'll give them because it took them. So they won back-to-back championships. I don't think he's going to win a championship in the next 2 years, and I don't think he's going to go undefeated in the next 3 years. I think that's extremely unlikely.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if his son is going to be throwing touchdowns left and right like he was. But this is not me hoping that. I don't know.
I completely agree because I don't think they.
I do not know.
I just seen their schedule and I just seen the people that they played. They played a few of the top 10s and got blown out.
I mean,
I know completely.
Colorado's a terrible football team.
No, they are, and that's where I feel like it might be something else where like we're missing because you went to one of the worst football teams in college, like the Pac-12. You got so many other. You could have went to Oregon.